Hey everybody, it is Tom Spina from Regal Robot and Tom Spina Designs, and it's nice to see you here. As always, this is a bit of an interactive video, so if you have any questions, you have any thoughts, you have any comments, just hit the comments on Facebook here, ask your questions. Rob will try and read them as they come up and ask me, and if possible, I will answer them live and on air. Today is a special day. It's the first Mando Mondays big release that we're doing here. The next, I want to say 5 weeks, we have different new products coming every week. This week is the sort of the biggest of them in terms of, this is sort of a collectible piece, and the rest of the stuff is really cool sort of decor pieces. Everything is, let's see here. I mean, just looking. Our secret board you can't see. That is, yeah, they're all like in that $40 to $50 to $60 kind of range. But there's really cool stuff, and I can't wait to share those with you. But we can't share those just yet. However, today being the first Mando Monday, we are finally allowed to share the next in our Maquette series. So anybody who has been following us for a while, thank you, first of all. We've got a series of maquettes that we put out that are recreations of the original concept art used to create some of our favorite characters in Star Wars. And to me, as someone who loves the making of these movies, I find these pieces to be just so special. And not that there's anything wrong with just doing, say, a Jabba the Hutt figure or something like that, but to come up with something where it is a replica of the artifact that was used to create that character, to me there's more backstory to that, there's meat to it, and there's something really, really cool about that. And it just harkens back to these great making of documentaries that we all watched. You know, we had a client come to pick something up a few weeks back. He was picking up one of our life-size Chewbacca busts, the new XL sort of one where it's got the shoulders and the bandolier. If you go to the Custom Character Studio on our website under Star Wars, you can see those Chewie busts. And he said there was something about it that reminded him of the behind-the-scenes footage where Peter Mayhew was actually speaking real lines. You know, so they're in the Death Star, that little kind of office room where they're staging whether they're going to go and get Princess Leia or not. And Obi-Wan leaves, and Chewbacca looks over and he just goes, "That old man's mad." And it's just weird to see it without hearing his voice, but he went to go say that, and I finished the line because that's the kind of stuff that we're all obsessed with. So our Maquette collection kind of calls back to those series, and we started with the Tauntaun, and this is what we would call a lineage piece. This is something that was pulled directly from the mold that Phil Tippett created off of the clay sculpture when he was making these for the production. This was Phil's first draft of the Tauntaun, and we were so lucky to find out that he actually still had those molds. And amazingly that they were viable. They were tough, they were old, but Mark Dubois, who worked with him, managed to get us a beautiful casting out of there, and that's the foundation for this piece. What happened was Phil sculpted that, he made a mold, and then they made copies of it to send to England, and they used this, a copy of it, basically a brother piece to this, you know, something pulled right out of that same mold, to design the life-sized Tauntauns that they would then take to Finsa and then also use on set in the UK. Ultimately, he made the stop-motion figure using that same mold. He made a clay pour of it, shaved all the skin and hair off of it, and then resculpted it with tighter details and tighter musculature and stuff like that to then add the fur and all of that. But this piece was mastered right out of his original mold, and from there we took our master, we made our production molds, and everything you get just has direct lineage to that original sculpture, that original piece that was used to create that amazing beast for the movie. Jabba is it's sort of a different kind of lineage. This was something where we had to digitally recreate this. The original piece, because of the way it's assembled and everything, wasn't something we could pull a mold off of. And because of where it was at the archives, we weren't able to scan this. So what we were able to do, though, was do a series of photos from all different angles and to be able to use those to then digitally recreate this piece. But in that case, we had this great hands-on ability to examine those real pieces, and Phil actually just got one of these, and he thought we had access to the mold, so I think that means we did a pretty good job. So we do have one more in this series, and that was just released today. It'll be available to purchase at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and that's a Mando Mondays mandate. So for the next few weeks, anything new that comes out for Mando Mondays, that's going to be the time you can order. It'll always be 4 p.m. and that's for these. So let me go to a shelf over here, see if I can find anything to be our third maquette. Has anybody guessed what the third maquette is going to be?
No comments yet.
Yeah, they were. I feel like nobody was able to end up mentioning this or anything. So, do you want to come in on him at all, or? So this here is today's release. This is our first our first concept maquette from the Mandalorian. And one of the really cool things about what they've been doing with the Mandalorian is they are going really old school in terms of their development. And they have folks, some of whom I know and consider friends, that are working on this, that are actually doing physical maquettes for things. And they're doing a lot of physical sculpture, and there's tons of great digital work going on too, but I think it's just so cool that they are using the same old school techniques, and in some cases even some of the same old school artists, to create their new characters and to envision them the way that they did for the old movies. And I think there's always something kind of cool about just going to clay on something. So this is the Gamorrean Fighter Concept Maquette Replica. It is a long name, but sometimes that's just what you have to do in a licensing game. I saw this initially, Jon Favreau posted this on his Instagram page. My understanding is that was actually the first thing anyone saw from season 2 of The Mandalorian. And I was super excited when I saw it, because to me it just felt like a great, just to the side of the camera from the original trilogy. Like, this guy could have existed. Maybe he's somewhere in like the bowels of Jabba's palace, changing into his Gamorrean Guard outfit. Like, there's I don't know, is there like a Gamorrean Guard locker room at the end of the day, and and they go in and they change. But there's just this cool gladiatorial kind of thing about him. And immediately I'm wondering, like, are there going to be Gamorrean sumo wrestlers in this episode? Like, what's going to happen in season 2 just from seeing that one maquette? And then as luck would have it, we eventually made our way through and realized we knew who had sculpted this piece, and we knew some of the folks on the production, and through our contacts with both just in the effects industry in general, and then with Disney and Lucasfilm, we were able to pull this together, and this is another Lineage piece. This is something that just is directly connected to that maquette that was shown on Instagram. That was the first thing we saw from season 2. And, of course, now we've seen them in the trailer. And I just think there's something really, really cool about this sculpt. There's a lot of really natural stuff going on. It's something that, there's heart and soul put into a clay sculpture when you do stuff like this. This is something that anybody who sculpts knows. Like, once you're tactile with something like that, you get connected to it. And I think I love that this is something where we can say, this isn't just some recreation of it, or this isn't just the character or an action figure or something like that. This is, I want to say it's about 12.5 inches tall on the base, just thick, heavy resin, this beefy maquette that that's just loaded with detail. Every one of them is going to be made in the USA. Every one of them is going to be hand painted, pretty much the way we do everything. The whole Maquette series right now is, each one is 250 pieces. With these two, there's still some left, so if anybody's interested. All of the maquettes now are on our new payment plan as well, so you can get them either by paying in full or you can pay in 3 payments over a period of months. There's something that happens with these guys that, you know, we're talking about very small runs of stuff. You know, a lot of licensees like to do hundreds and hundreds of pieces, thousands of pieces, tens of thousands of pieces. For us, these are really massive runs. When we get to 250 pieces of something, that's a lot for us. You know, when we're talking about our busts and things like that, even the Rancor replica that we made, you know, that was 83 pieces. So 250 pieces of these is a lot. They're all going to be hand painted, made in the USA, and you can order them starting at 4 p.m. I'm going to pause for a second to get a drink of water, but have we got any questions or comments at this point?
Price point on the Gamorrean?
That's an excellent question. So if anybody's curious, go to the website and just click the news page, and there'll be a blog story that can point you right to the product page on this guy. And on that product page, you'll find tons of photos and full details about the run. So he is going to be $4.99 plus shipping. By contrast, Jabba is $3.49 and the Tauntaun is $6.99. The Tauntaun is also a signature edition. It comes with a plaque that's signed by Phil Tippett. So each is a slightly different price point. Basically, you've got Jabba and the Tauntaun, and he fits right in the middle of those. And we've actually already started casting on these. For anybody that that has ordered, let's see, some of the most recent stuff that's going out. The Jabbas are actually just starting to ship the next, I believe this week, the first of them should start to ship out. So if you were one of the early orders on those, keep an eye on your email. As they go out, we'll be sending tracking. I believe they'll be shipping between about 20 and 40 a week for the next few weeks, even months, because we've got a fair number of orders on those already. Tauntaun ship as the orders come in, because this has been around for a little bit. Basically, if you place an order for this, it should be no more than a week that it goes out. The Gamorrean is scheduled to ship in, I believe, February, March. I actually, hold on, I called up the page on my computer here. It says February, March. So it'll probably, there's a chance we get ahead of that. We'll see how that goes. That's one of the good things about, you know, making stuff in-house and making stuff in the US is that as they finish, we can start shipping them. So the job is, you know, they're starting to ship right now, but they'll ship over a period of weeks. We don't have to wait for a container of things to come in from overseas or something like that and hold everybody's up. So basically, the earlier you ordered, the lower number you're going to get, and the sooner your piece will ship. With the Gamorrean, it's the same way. The plaques on this, it's a little aluminum metal plaque. It's printed, has a little stand, and those are all hand numbered. So basically, every piece you get is a numbered piece out of an edition of only 250 pieces. While you're looking up for other questions, the other update I can give you is that CZ3, the numbered edition, is starting to ship as well. I believe the first dozen of those shipped out about 2 weeks ago. There's going to be another 10 going out in the next few days, and then there'll be the rest going out. Usually, what we're figuring on is about 2 weeks after that. So basically, anybody who orders a numbered CZ3 at this point, you should be waiting no longer than about 2 to 3 weeks to get yours, no matter what. So if it's something you've been thinking about, it is starting to go out now, and that was a fun sound. It's like a goose over here. Those are all hand weathered here in the shop. There's actually it seems like the last few videos we've done, we've had a table of these going. There's something really cool that they're working on 3 of. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
And
about.
we can't show it just yet. I don't know how we're going to fit it in the office when we do that video. We might have to do it somewhere else.
Yeah, outside.
Like out in the snow. But we'll share that soon. But there's cool stuff coming. The other stuff that's coming, you know, so I got to do this without knocking Rancor's magnet hand off. So these guys are starting to ship as well. So anybody who ordered our new wood plaques, we've got the Darth Vader in Flames Empire Strikes Back patch out back there, and we've got the Wampa warning sign over here. These both versions started shipping last week, and we've got good stock on them now. And we have another batch on order after that. So these ship out right away if you buy them now, and then coming soon are going to be more of these wood plaques. They sold well, and I'm really excited to see how people integrate them into their collections. And we're trying to keep making things that are interesting, maybe a little behind the scenesy. Maybe they relate to vintage stuff that we loved as kids. Maybe they're scenic elements and things like that. We've got a lot of things planned for that line, and they range from about $30 to $60 depending on which one you get, and there's some really neat stuff, and I can't wait to share more of those too.
Weight, the approximate weight on the Gamorrean.
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't have a scale handy. It's not super heavy. So this says 2 pounds 9 ounces. I actually think it might be a tiny bit more than that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe I weighed it without the base, but not terrible. We try and not make shelf breakers. I've gotten some busts in the past where they come in and they're like 40 pounds, and you walk into your collection a few weeks later and the wood shelf is just dipped in the middle. Wherever possible, we try and incorporate things that save a little bit of weight, whether that's thick rotocast or foam filling behind resin, things like that. We don't use polystone. We almost always are using polyurethane resin, so it's got a little bit more impact resistance. It's a little lower shore and a little less, actually a lot less brittle than something like a polystone.
Could we hint what the next maquette may be?
Oh. So there is another maquette.
You want to point to that box?
Yeah, that's the best hint I can give you right now. It's in there, along with a few other things. We do have another maquette. What I can say is this: we're trying to, we've got the holidays coming up. We want to make sure that everybody has enough disposable income to get their friends and loved ones some gifts. The next maquette from this series that we do will be in early 2021. We don't have a specific date for it yet. We do have a prototype. It's another amazing Lineage piece. It is one of these pieces, and when we talk about Lineage, so it's a word that we are encouraged to use these days. Depending on what you're talking about, that could be something where it means examining the original and doing tons of photographs. It might mean something where you're pulling out of the original mold or working with the original artist. It could mean that you're taking patterns off of something. So like when we do our Jawa replicas, we trace that pattern directly off one of the original, in fact it was the hero robe, because you can see the markings in these things when you get to handle them. And so our patterns are pulled right off of those originals. It can be something like where you're digitally scanning something, like with the Rancor or with CZ3. A lot of our stuff has Lineage now, and a lot of our stuff is for me, an excuse to give people something that is very prop-like, something that feels like it is part of the production of the movie and not just a reproduction or just a character sculpt or something like that. And I think it's the thing that we're kind of good at, I like to think, and hopefully it's something that people really appreciate and engage with. So that next maquette, it'll be coming in early 2021. It will be another fully painted, made in the USA, limited edition, numbered, all of that stuff. It's about this big. I'll say that's all I can give you. Anybody else?
Can we remind them again the edition size on the Gamorrean?
Yeah. But I need to hydrate first. The edition size on the Gamorrean is 250 pieces. The same goes for the Jabba the Hutt Maquette Replica, the Tauntaun Maquette. CZ3, there are still some left if anybody missed out on the CZ3 bus. That's the numbered edition. There's only 50 of those. And then the Rancor sold out. So that was an edition of 83 pieces. Our last video, we actually showcased that. And I think it was about a day later that edition sold out. And thank you to everybody who ordered that. I'm really, really excited to get those into your hands. They're painting up a couple more samples next door to really get us on good footing to start producing those. But they're already casting them, and we're going to have a lot of Rancor babies around here once those start going. I think we should do a photo of that. That'll be
We
good.
should, yeah. Could you give a hint on what film the next maquette is based on?
I could.
You could.
Should I?
I don't know. You could.
I don't know.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
All right. So
We're giving.
That particular one, we have others coming too, but the very next one, assuming nothing changes, because sometimes they do, should be another from The Mandalorian, and specifically season 1. Who could it be?
Could you give any more info on the lineage of the Gamorrean?
So we can't get too specific on this one. There are limitations that come with licensing sometimes, where your marketing of a piece has to be very specific. What I can say is this: I consider the lineage on this as direct as possible, and to me it is the ultimate option out of all things lineage. I would say a very similar piece would be the Tauntaun.
Very similar.
So that would be your benchmark. If you're excited about the lineage of this Tauntaun coming out of Phil Tippett's molds, you'll probably like the lineage on this.
All right, Mike asks, does Lucas Disney approach us about these things, or do we go to them with our ideas?
So we have a great rep at Lucasfilm, and we have great partners at Disney too. But our rep at Lucasfilm really is like one of us, and we just nerd out. And sometimes we're supposed to be talking about work stuff, and then he and I spend about 45 minutes debating if Joe Bessa or Curly Joe was the better replacement in the Three Stooges. But that's another conversation entirely. But he loves this stuff. He will sometimes come to us 9 times out of 10, maybe even 9.5 times out of 10. It's us going to them. And we've always had, so, between Rich Riley and myself, and now Rob and myself, the list is massive of stuff that we want to do. And it really is mostly about whittling down that list into what we have time to make physically and what people can absorb as well financially, because we don't want to just overwhelm people. If we had our way, there would be new busts and maquettes pretty much weekly at this point. We have so many things we want to make.
No more questions right now.
Cool. Well, we've probably got, let's see, what time is it? So we're about almost 3:30, so in about a half hour, folks can start to order this Gamorrean. So I'm going to do a last call on any questions, and in the meantime, please consider going to the website and checking this out. If you go to the news section, there's a blog post that'll take you right to the product page for this. You can also just explore the site. Look up things like the Tauntaun here or Jabba, go to the Star Wars link, and just explore. There's also tons of cool decor and furniture stuff, and I think sometimes people wind up on our site through some gateway and they wind up just in one corner of it. Feel around, explore. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, and the great thing is we still love taking custom requests. So if there's something you want to see that we're not making, just give us a call or shoot us an email. There's all that information on the website. And in the meantime, if you are watching this on Facebook, please be sure to I don't know if it's down there or up here on Facebook, but click like and follow our page. Check us out on Instagram as well. We post stuff there every day. If you're on Instagram, please go find our Instagram account. It's @RegalRobot, and follow us over there. And if you happen to be watching this on like one of the YouTube re-airs, please click subscribe before you go. That's how YouTube people do it.
Where do these products ship from?
So these all ship from the USA. In particular, let's see here. These 3 ship from the East Coast. These guys ship right out of our shop in New York. The wood plaques all come from the New York shop as well.
Any chance we'll expand to vehicles?
Right now, no. There are some really specific limits in the licensing categories when it comes to vehicles. That said, there's a better chance that we can explore some prop-ish stuff, but there are going to be limitations there as well. We have a new contract with Disney that's starting next year, and there might be some other stuff we get to do there. Honestly, this sort of thing is always a discussion back and forth with them, and like I said, we're very lucky to have just a good partner and a really great rep at Lucasfilm to discuss this stuff with, and he's been a big part of us expanding into the busts and the maquettes and the collectibles and all of that stuff, and really, you know, likes to kind of push us even further on the stuff we're doing. So who knows what'll be coming next year. There's a lot in the works.
Someone's asking about a skull on the shelf. I'm not sure what they're saying.
I'm not sure what they're saying. Yeah, no idea. Skull, shelf, no, I don't know. But there's more stuff coming for Mando Monday. So if you've enjoyed this, please leave a comment saying so. Please like the video. Please follow our account. And then if you want to bring one of these beautiful pigs into your home, please visit our site, regalrobot.com/Star Wars. And you can get him starting in just about a half hour. Those orders will go up. And then tune back, let's see, probably next Monday. I don't know if we'll do a video, but we will have another product coming out Monday. The following Monday, we have one more. The following Monday, there's another one. And the following Monday, there's another one. So lots of new stuff coming. And then for Black Friday, we have another series of these plaques that'll make really, really great gifts, especially for any of the old school collectors out there. Anybody you know that loves the old action figures and stuff like that, you're going to want to see what those look like.
One last quick one. Mike asks, will we ever expand to prequels and sequels?
So we're totally licensed to work within prequels and sequels. Right now, we're sort of keeping that stuff mostly to custom. For us, our list of OT stuff was and is so long that that's stuff that will either, you know, filter in as we go, or as people request stuff, we can really start to do that. So if there's something really specific you want to see, let us know. You know, for us, it's always that balance too of what is it that our core fans, you know, our Regal clients and collectors are hungry for, and what is driving us at the moment. It definitely changes all the time. We like all the movies. We love the prequels. We love the sequels. We are definitely original trilogy folks at heart. We grew up with that. You know, it hit when I was 4 and 5 years old and stuff like that. So it's that's always going to be my first go-to. But yeah, if there's stuff that you like there that's prequel and sequel, let us know. We can look at it. And with that, we will wrap it up. I hope to see a whole bunch of you bringing this guy home in about a half hour. If anybody has any questions in the meantime, just throw them right into this thread. We'll have our social guys take a look at it and see if we can answer any questions before they go live. Thanks again for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you again soon, and thanks for all the questions. Take care, everybody. Bye.